Hello everyone, it's Lance from Cinematic Galaxy here today, and today I'm going to be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I must say that if you choose to watch this review, you've chosen wisely. That really wasn't funny at all, was it? Anyway, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. One of the things about this film that I knew going into it was that apparently it went back to the series went back to its roots, and this one was a lot more like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Temple of Doom was such a different sort of film from Raiders, and Steven Spielberg himself didn't even like Temple of Doom, and I guess he really wanted to return back to the series' roots, and there you have Last Crusade. Despite the flaws I have with Temple of Doom, I actually really enjoyed the film, and when I first saw Temple of Doom, I absolutely loved it. And even now, despite the flaws I have with it, I still think it's a very fun movie. It's very enjoyable, and I appreciate it for the fact that it's different. I appreciate it for its dark tone, and I like the fact that not all three of the original films that they focus on the Nazis, because it would have gotten repetitive. It would have gotten repetitive, but the fact that they did Temple of Doom differently makes the return to its roots with Last Crusade feel all the more welcome. You know, it feels like you're returning home. It feels like you're returning home to, you know, Mom's wonderful homemade chocolate chip cookies, and yeah, you get to see all the old characters again that you remember from the first film. Marcus Brody gets an expanded role here, more of a comedic role, which is quite nice. He's very funny. You also see Sala, played by John Rhys-Davies, who's absolutely hilarious as always, and it's just great to see old characters like that. But perhaps the best thing about this film is the new characters that it brings to the table. You know, you have characters like Elsa Snyder, played by Alison Doody, who is sort of like a Bond girl for Indy, but her character is pretty complex and pretty interesting, and she's attractive, you know, needless to say, and she plays the part well. Then you have characters like Donovan. He ends up being the villain of the film. There you go. By far the most notable addition to the cast has to be James Bond himself, Sean Connery, as Henry Jones Sr. He is so great in this movie. I just love Sean Connery in this movie. And what makes him great, what makes both Indy and him so great in this movie is their chemistry together. Harrison Ford and Sean Connery have excellent chemistry. They're actually very believable as father and son, even though Sean Connery is what? He's only like 10 years older than Harrison Ford in real life. But the two of them, the acting is very great between both of them. They both have excellent chemistry, and essentially this is a buddy picture. I really love the differences between these two characters in the film, which leads me to talk about the one thing that this film really has going for it, the comedy. Most people would agree that The Last Crusade is by far the funniest Indy film, and I would have to agree, even though I think that Raiders has many hilarious moments. I would say the overall Last Crusade is the funniest. And what's really great to me about the comedy is the fact that, you know, you would think with a film like this, a lot of the comedy would be forced, or a lot of it would be cheesy and stupid, but all the comedy works, and it works really, really well. It's very clever, the writing is clever, the delivery is great, and, you know, it's perfectly interweaved into the story, and at the same time, it doesn't distract you from the main story that you have there. And most of the comedy comes from the relationship between Indy and his father. And it's very good, very good. The first scene, for instance, where we see the two of them together, and Indy, the Nazis corner them, and Indy basically just takes the machine gun from one of them and just shoots all the Nazis in the room. And Sean Connery's just all like there. Well, he's all there like, what have you done? what have you done? You know, he's horrified. He's horrified because he has no idea what his son has actually been up to for the past however many years of his life. And, you know, he just sees him kill these Nazis without a shred of remorse. And it's so funny. Another funny scene, for me, a very funny scene, is where Indy realizes that his father and Elsa actually had a brief affair before, you know, he and Elsa slept together. And yeah, it's very funny. You know, you wonder how a film like this would deal with subject matter like that, but it passes in a very funny way. But at the same time, it's really disturbing. Just imagine, you know, I can't even imagine something like that happening. Another really funny scene between the two of them is it kind of relates to the first scene, but it's during the motorcycle chase where Indy, you know, he's on the motorcycle, Sean Connery is in the sidecar next to him, and he's knocking Nazis all over the place and just sending them flying in the air and stuff, and he's having a great time, and he's having a blast, just, you know, doing what he does best. And he looks over at Sean Connery, expecting to see him laughing and sharing his amusement, and his father just looks at him. He just looks at him with this extremely serious, extremely disapproving expression on his face, and it's so funny. It relates to the fact that it returns to the roots of Raiders. Like I said, I really like that Temple of Doom went different. It wasn't trying to do the exact same thing, but at the same time, I think Indy is at his best when he is beating up Nazis. You know, because again, like I said, we all hate Nazis. So when you just see him beating these guys to a pulp in this movie, it's just so satisfying, because it's like you wish that somebody had really been around to actually do that to Nazis. You wish that Indiana Jones had actually existed. And you just see him continuously outsmarting these guys and beating them to a pulp and stopping them from getting these objects that would basically make them rule the world. And again, it just brings that kind of American spirit to this film that Temple of Doom was lacking, but Raiders had. All this leads me also to talk about the action of this movie. As with the other indie films, the action is really the strong point of the movie, or one of the strong points. So many great action scenes in this film. The opening scene with River Phoenix, where we see Indy as a teenager, is very well done. It has a lot of good action. And actually, I'm going to get a little sidetracked here because I want to mention that scene. Usually, I do not like it when a kid actor plays the younger version of an older character, or when it's vice versa. You know, when you see the younger character transition to an older character. Usually when I see that in a lot of movies or whatever it is, I'm thinking, that doesn't look anything like the character. It doesn't act like the character. You know, how are these two supposed to be the same person? You know, it always, you know, it bothers me a lot when I see films. So actually, because I knew a little bit about the story coming into this movie, I knew that there was going to be a flashback, and I was a little apprehensive because I didn't know a lot about River Phoenix, and I still haven't seen a lot of his movies. I haven't seen Stand By Me, which I have to get around to that, but I had no idea how talented he was, and I was kind of apprehensive because I was like, how is he going to play a kid version of Indiana Jones? How am I really going to buy into that? And when I watched it the first time, I absolutely bought into it. Not only does River Phoenix look like Harrison Ford, he does bear resemblance to him. Even Harrison Ford himself said so, and he recommended him that River Phoenix does bear resemblance to him as a kid. But River Phoenix acts like Indiana Jones. No. Let me rephrase that. River Phoenix is Indiana Jones. He's just a younger version of that character. But it's like he effortlessly manages to bring that same charm and same charisma, same vulnerability to the role that Harrison Ford does as an adult. And honestly, if Lucas and them had decided to make films with River Phoenix starring as Indiana Jones, I would have watched them, and I probably would have loved them if they had put the same amount of care into it. Because he plays the character so naturally and so perfectly, and he's not imitating Harrison Ford. I mean, he's not trying to be Harrison Ford. He really is Harrison Ford in this movie. Anyway, back to the action. That scene is very well done. It's very well done action-wise, and it's very well done story-wise because you find out so much about the character. I also really love the opening scene where we see Indy on a ship in a raging storm, trying to get the Cross of Coronado. It's very, very cool. And I love how old school it is. You know, it has very old school practical effects, but it looks great, and it really does capture the feeling that he is on a ship in a raging storm, and it's cool. But by far my favorite action scene in the film, and I would say my second favorite action scene of the entire series, would have to be the tank chase. It's after the truck chase in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's very well done, very fun to watch, and it's funny, but it's action-packed and suspenseful at the same time. It's very, very well filmed action. In the past, I felt Raiders of the Lost Ark has my favorite Indiana Jones score, and it still might. You know, I really love the mystery element that Raiders brings to the score, as well as the action and suspense and all that. And this film has that as well, but I would have to say that it's definitely the most beautiful out of all the scores. And at the same time, it has those same action-packed and suspenseful moments. It's a very good score by John Williams once again.